A few days ago, I put out a community post asking you guys what you want to see over here with the rest of the jungle. Quite a few of you voted for Crystal Cave, so that is what I'm going to be building today. And actually, for this Crystal Cave, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and build it in this mountain that we already have built here. So the first thing we gotta do is we have to pick an entrance. I'm kind of thinking maybe this would look pretty cool for an entrance. And maybe even some of this was actually just open. Maybe part of this was you could see into the cave. So I think I'm going to work here for our entrance. And the first thing I am going to do, of course, as with building anything, is map out our layout. And I have a fun idea for here. I'm thinking, imagine we just have a big glass wall that looks into the crystal caves. I think that could be really cool. And maybe here too, for the bedroom. And I'm kind of just placing some walls around the edges here, just so that these flowers aren't sticking through the wall. Of course, the rocks are fine to stick through the wall, but we don't really want all of these plants and flowers to be sticking through the cave walls. So we have a bit of a layout here on the bottom floor, but I do want to make this multi-level. So let's go ahead and head upstairs. I am going to have to redo the flooring though. That is a little unfortunate. Okay, awesome. Now let's go in with the walls and plan out this next floor here. And I think 2 stories is enough, so I think a layout like this will do just fine. Now we have a very, very large space here, so we do have to kind of plan out some different sections and like, what are we going to do with this space is basically what we have to figure out. I think we can put up some walls. Like that is not too bad. It kind of sections off the space a little bit and then you won't be able to go inside of there. And maybe this area up here is like a 2nd story. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, so this will be all 2nd story, and then these will be 2 separate floors. Okay, I think we've got some good layout here. I think we've got a good general idea of what we want to do. Now we obviously just gotta go in with the basics and color everything. Also gotta go in with the floor. I have no idea if I just put that back correctly. Well, we'll just hope that I did. Does that look off? I feel like that looks off. I'm not sure though. We'll just go with it. And actually, before I can place this floor down here, I have to do something. Because I'm thinking it would be really cool if we put some water in here. Okay, I have a cool idea, but I have to get rid of all of this over here. We're gonna have water that flows from here into the cave, just to kind of tie it all together, you know? So let's just go ahead and place that water, except I am gonna have to rethink this a little bit. I did not realize we were at the very edge of the plot. There we go, we should be good now. Mostly. We hit another wall. Kind of forgot about that. No big deal though. We will just work around it. Okay, I think that'll work for the water. It'll kind of flow from out here, just around inside. And then all around here, we will be putting crystals. I do need to go around and paint some things, as well as patch some things up over here. So I will be right back. Okay, I got the water all done. The floors are placed, the walls are placed, all of that kind of stuff that can be boring to watch. I removed these rocks from over here to over here. And so now we're all good to start on the fun stuff. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go around with some rocks and a few plants here and there, especially as it kind of fades out from the jungle. Just like that, so that the grass kind of fades out, and now we'll get into more of the crystal stuff. And so I'm just gonna place a few more plants and rocks. Okay, I think that is good for this very beginning here, as it kind of fades out from the jungle, and now we get to get into some of the crystals. And so I'm thinking how I'm gonna make these crystals is just going into basic shapes and grabbing a cube. I'm thinking semi-transparent cube, and then of course I can color this, rescale it, and then put some lights inside to make it kind of glow. And I want a variety of crystals, so let me go ahead and try a few things out. One crystal look we can obviously go for is this kind of very simple look. Another idea I have for crystal, here's what I'm kind of thinking, is we'll use a rock as the base, kind of like that, and then I will take some crystals. Definitely we'll use some smaller ones for this, and just kind of make the crystals look like they're poking out of the rock, you know, for some smaller crystals. Something that's probably going to take forever, but hopefully it ends up looking nice. So right now it is a little odd looking. I think coloring this would help. So we'll go with some purple for these. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like how that looks, especially once we fill the rock. I'm thinking this could look pretty cool. And what I'm gonna do is I made it all copy and pasteable, so I can just take a chunk and rotate it and put it into the rock at a time, so I could do multiple rocks. So I'm just gonna make a couple variations. I think something like that will do. It kind of looks a little odd. I don't know. We'll just go with it. That way we have a couple variations. Okay, I think that's a pretty good selection of crystals. I ended up adding a few more, so we've got like the big white ones here, we've got some small blue ones, we've got some round red ones, these little clustered purple ones, and then I'm thinking like some rare yellow ones, like ones that are very spread out. And so before I go ahead and copy it around, the last thing I want to do is I want to add some lighting. And what I'm thinking in order to do this, so I'm thinking this light box, because if we get a basic shape, in fact we can just take one of these, and we put the light box on it, we can then transform it inside inside of the crystal. And now if we take the roof off, it lights up. And in case you're wondering exactly how I do it, for like the gold for example, I just copy this one piece and I transform it into the rock. And then of course just take this light box and transform it inside. Lower it just a bit like that to give off a little glow. For the white crystal, it's just the same thing. I just copied this one from over here. I just take the transform tool, rotate it a little bit in all directions to kind of switch it up. Copy more, do the exact same thing, push them into the ground, and that is basically it. There's nothing else to it. It's actually pretty simple. It just takes quite a bit of time. And then of course, to finish it off, oh, and by the way, I did put some rocks around it to make it look a little nicer. But to finish it off, I just color this light box the color of the crystals, and once again, move it into the crystals. There really is no perfect way to do it. I am just kind of moving them randomly around. And they don't always turn out great either. Like this blue one, I'm like, it's doesn't look amazing, but that's okay because by doing it random, it's natural. And I can just picture it right now. I can imagine once all the crystals are done and it's just gonna be all lit up, like how cool this is gonna look. Okay, so I now have crystals all over here and in this main area over here, and I'm now over here where I want to put the windows. So I have to figure out what I want to do here now. So like I'm thinking, you know, one big window, but like what about this? Maybe we don't want that shape of a wall. Maybe that's a little bit of an odd shape, but maybe this is more what we want. Like that, I think that could be pretty cool. And so then what I want to do here is I'll just want to like put some crystals. think that's good for this area over here. And what's really cool is you can just be in the gym working out, or whoever has this bedroom, you're in here and you just get a nice view of the crystals. I'm not quite done yet though. I mean, I still have to do the crystals up on this second floor area up here, but I just had a really cool idea. I was thinking, what if we actually put an opening into here, maybe even a secret door or something, but what if we open this up here, and in here we have like one giant green bright glowing crystal. Kind of like something that's in a lot of those movies. It's like the source of all the crystals, you know, like the power source. But like, wouldn't that be cool to have one massive crystal in here? So I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so here we have our 2-story room, and I'm thinking that right here will be the opening to it. And then I think we'll grab this rock here to be the center of it. It is gonna maybe be a little tight, but that is okay. And then we're gonna take this semi-transparent cube that we use for the white crystal. We're going to color this bright green, except maybe not quite that bright. I like something like that. Going to scale this nice and tall, because this is going to be our massive crystal. So I'll just do the same thing I've been doing for all the crystals, and I will be right back. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a massive crystal, but it's bigger compared to all the other ones. Yeah, so I think we'll just kind of go with that. So I'm just going to now keep decorating, placing some rocks and plants around, some more crystals, and kind of finish off this area here. Okay, I think that's good for this, like, crystal area. I wanted to include one of every crystal since it is kind of like the center of the cave. I don't think it looks too bad. Now the next thing I want to do to finish off the crystals is put a few up here. Alrighty, and then I think I just want to add some few more details since it's pretty plain. For example, I think I'm going to go around with some garland as vines. Okay, so I'm all done, and now it's time for a little tour. Of course, we have our entrance right by the waterfall over here where you enter in the cave, and you can come around over here and walk in. And then we have our crystals and vines and rocks already at the entrance, and our grass, and then a river that runs through the entire cave. It's nothing crazy detailed. I mean, it's kind of what you can do with Bloxburg, like, unless I wanted to go into a bunch of basic shape rockwork like this is kind of what you get. And so I think for this, it looks pretty nice. But we have our 2-story main area here, and then down here we have the river that continues into a dead end over here, again with just more crystals. We have our tall, big white crystals, then we have our mini blue crystals, our round red crystals, our cluttered purple crystals, and our spread out yellow crystals. Over here we have another little hallway, and to the right we have our mega crystal, the biggest crystal in the cave, kind of like the source of all the crystals, of all the power. And in here we also have one of every type, and it's just a nice little area, kind of fills up the space, and I really like this giant glowing crystal in the middle. And then going back down the hall over here, we have this little area here, which you can see from inside the gym, as well as from inside this bedroom, which I think is very cool. I mean, just imagine, I don't know what we're gonna do here yet, but I mean, even if you had like a little bench, a reading bench or something, even just the window, just imagine being able to look at that from your bedroom is just so cool. And then back over here, we have another hallway that leads right back to the main area. Anyways, that was me building a crystal cave in Bloxburg. If you enjoyed, make sure to thumbs up the video and consider subscribing. Have a great day.